technical inabilities. That's what it is. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing for energies and so forth? Hope everybody's well. Let me just bring up the comments so I can see what's going on in the comments. This is it. This is a whole technical thing, isn't it? Here we go. So I can see who is about. Dragon, how you doing? I made it on time. I'm glad you made it on time. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, welcome to the live. There's so many things I really wanted to talk about today. So many things. It's all about this sort of coming back to the weekly readings that I do on the channel, and how it's all sort of playing into sort of two halves and stuff like that. Frisia, how you doing? Kevin, lovely to see you. White Feather, how you doing? Lynn, how you doing? Sully, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, so I was just saying about, going into the Age of Aquarius and stuff like that. I've been saying it for ages, that the end of Pluto in Capricorn at the beginning of 2025 was really the sort of time when we gingerly stepping fully on into Aquarius, because that's when Pluto went into Aquarius. But it's obviously, we're talking about an astrological system that takes 24,000 years and more sometimes to do a full rotation. And so what we perceive to be a day is sort of 10, 15 years in 10, 15 years probably in the eyes of the universal sort of system. So it takes a bit of time. And, I was looking at all the conjunctions that we've been having and everything like that. Julie, hello, lovely to see you. Looking at all the conjunctions we've been having and the alignments of planets and so forth. And it really is. And also looking at the yearly reading for 2026, and how this thing that sort of turned up in the beginning part of March and goes right through to the middle of May, end of May period, sort of almost to the end of to the start of Gemini season, really. And another fellow air sign, as it were, to Aquarius. And looking at the alignments of the planets and so forth, and we got this big conjunctory sort of thing happening on February the 20th. I don't know if you know all about it. You've probably heard about it, of Neptune and Saturn conjuncting. I'm just glad I've made it into the Age of Aquarius. Yeah, so am I. Too right, Susie. Obviously, Pluto in Capricorn, I think, was hard for everybody. I think Capricorn sort of learnt a lot, I think, from that period there, because it was in the sign of Capricorn, and it's sort of like, you might see Capricorns getting beaten up over a 20-year period. Now it's into Aquarius, for the next 15 years, 16 years or something like that, 16, 18 or whatever years it is. And, to get into the Age of Aquarius and the conjunction that we have between Saturn and Neptune is, it's a conflict. When I saw someone wrote about something today, or someone told me about something about, you got to think of it like there's a sea wall, which is Saturn, and it has structure, it has rules, it has, all of those sort of things. And then you have Neptune, which is the sea, and it's the seas coming up against that sea wall, and gradually the sea wall is sort of, not decaying, but solidifying, and the sea is getting a little bit more sort of solid. And it's this whole sort of thing about manifestation, which I'm talking about in the moment, um, where we're learning different aspects over this period now, and I think it runs right up through to this conjunction in the 20th of February through to the 9th of 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th of March. And in that 7th, 8th, and 9th of March is you get a lot of the planets aligning, basically. And it looks like, it looks like there's, it's going to be that period there where the ultimate visions of what we can be living in the future start solidifying more ways than one. Pluto in Capricorn gave me such a beating. Because you're a Capricorn, Lynn. Yeah, I'm almost not afraid to get in the ring with anyone. Totally. Us Capricorns are pretty, we're pretty down to earth people, really. And it's because we have our elements and the Astroflower, the Capricorn elements are pretty similar across the board. They're 25% pretty much across the board. So, but, so we're almost like, we can do a lot of things, but we're the master of none in a way, sort of similar sort of thing. It feels like the hurt hasn't even finished with me yet. Yes. I sometimes, it's like imagine if you get your leg blown off, and you got that phantom member sort of sensation. And that's what it feels. It's possibly what you're feeling, KN. Hello, by the way. But yeah, I was talking about this at the moment. These are being dry runs, so this is not just trying things out. These are real dry runs which you should be engaged in life in a different way. Obviously, the outside world. You go outside your front door and you go down the market, or you go down the shops and stuff like that. The world ain't changed, and the world's not going to change like that in one day from another. So you still got to function in that world. Coral, how you doing? Lovely to see you as well. Yes. So so the outside world we've still got to function in the outside world. But it's choosing what we function with in order to manifest what we want, sort of thing. And at the moment, I think you've got to be honest with yourself. And this is why I always talk about in the readings and the Page of Cups have been coming out for a load of signs, like as much as the Devil card has been coming out for a load of the signs. And, better the devil devil's in the detail, that sort of thing. And the Page of Cups for me is learning how to grasp a dream that could be impossible at the moment and work towards it so it becomes possible. And it's Australia Day today, is it? Oh, happy Australia Day today. Yes. Chrissy, lovely to see you. So it's grasping that dream and putting it into reality. Shirley, how you doing? Lovely to see you. And each week seems to be a different element that is the guiding factor. So, this sort of week, it's much more sort of emotional, the water energy, whereas the week before it was all to do with physical. And if we seriously engage in this, so, trying things that are possible, you don't necessarily have to sort of like get the whole thing out on one foul swoop, as it were. If we try and get and really engage and really start manifesting things within our own personal life, we will get if you get the results. But it's a little bit like if you imagine you've got like a a point system. So like in golf, you have a handicap and you have seeding and stuff like that. It's not seeding against each other or handicap against one another. What it's sort of saying here is it's sort of saying you're accumulating certain points, not massive points. You know, you're not striding forward. We'll go into the striding in a minute, which is really important. It's like we're gaining points, which is, so if I'm gaining, say, like out of 10, let's say, like I'm trying to manifest something and I get 6 points. Okay. So that means when it comes back around in between March and May, when we can really start, you know, putting some chips down on the table, as it were, it's all going to be to a coefficient of 6, if you like. So it gives us, and the best way to do this, another way to describe this is, let's say you start off a journey, and with every step you take, you increase your step width, your stride, or your gait, I don't know, by, let's just say, by 20%. Just keep it simple. So if you start on 6, 20% of 6 is obviously, so you'd be up to 7.2. And then from 7.2, you do another 20%. So then you go up to, 8.6. And that sort of thing. It's like it's a coefficient of that. So I think, honestly, trying to manifest things and simple things within life through a certain different type of element in each week will help us enormously to convert this beautiful thing that we call life here on this planet into something amazing, and it's really weird. There's some things, and this is another thing that's coming out. And when I talk about manifestation, it's not just a case of sitting there and thinking and visualizing and everything like that. That's good. That's always good to use, but that's just one tool in a toolbox. And when you're, say, like, if you're working on a car, or you're, say, like, you're building a house, only having one tool is probably not gonna cut the mustard. It's not gonna help out. So we need to, as individuals, develop as best we can, and some of us are better at some things and some of us are better at other things in regards to the manifestation. Now that is absolutely dreamy, because then what it's doing is then that's helping the common sense to come together to kind of sort of say, but I know you're better at this than me, and I know I'm better at this than you. So I can help you with what I'm best at, and you can help me with what you're best at. So then we both become better overall. And that's what I think that's what energy is also trying to help us to understand. And, the more we can get into that, the more we become, not I wouldn't say dependent upon one another, but I think we come to the point where we understand that we're better together than not together, that sort of thing. And that's when we can, and possibly that's it may take even a year to come to that understanding within a lot of the people in this planet at the moment. I wouldn't say all of them, because sometimes when you go around and you're walking around life, you're just kind of going, oh man, someone's forgot to do their homework, sort of thing. It's some things you just kind of go, wow. But so, and and you can't really go any faster than that sort of people. So the world around us is not going to change like that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be incredibly confused as a general thing, as a society, because they know the jig's up. They know the gig is up, and it's just not. It's just not. it doesn't ring true. It's like someone, the guitar's out. It's not playing the right note. It's it's out of tune. And once you play it with everything else, all of a sudden that out of tuneness, you kind of go, what? And I think that's going to create a lot of confusion in the world, and it'll make, and that it's going to help other people to wake up even more and stuff like that. So it's going to be, don't expect the outside, but expect your life maybe to start changing. That's what I think we should start doing. And if we're really conscious about it, there's enough space for everyone. If you think about the singers in the world and the amount of people who can sing really well is phenomenal. Do we have to be satisfied with maybe, one or two singers that take the place of the 99% of all the singers in regards of, sharing it around, as it were? Do you understand what I mean? So maybe it's a possibility that we could be in a position where, rather than it providing just for sort of one or two, it provides for a lot more. And it encourages people then to open up and follow their dreams, because that's what Aquarius is all about. And that's what Neptune's all about. It's that whole sort of like grounding the vision in a way, turning it into reality and making it sort of solid and activated, as it were. I've gone and lost my comments now. So yeah, it's it's this whole manifestation thing that we're going through at the moment. They are trial runs, but they do count for your future. So, and every time, once you get more into the stride, the more you can actually do with that every step along the way. I'm supposed to be, so hi Bagpuss, Joe, how you doing? I'm supposed to be flying out to Uganda on Friday to do my humanitarian work, okay? I keep checking the travel info. It says okay, but doesn't look good. Not sure if you should go. Who did they have in? Was it Idi Amin? Was in Uganda? Because Uganda came out of that. I think it was Idi Amin in Uganda. They came out the other side of that that episode in a really, really good way. I had really good hopes for Uganda back in, back in the 80s, 90s, possibly, something like that. It was really, really fantastic, and it seems to have slipped a bit, doesn't it? Which is a real shame. And the manifestation thing and the changes that we're going through, we will harness our individual strengths to strengthen the entire team. Exactly that, Sully, yeah. And I think Ugandans, hopefully they will see that common sense and kind of just pull away from that and kind of go, do you know what? No. And I know in Africa. I spent some time out in East Africa, out in sort of Kenya and stuff like that, long time ago, to be honest. And it's an amazing continent, Africa. I really loved it. I tried to go back there back in the 1980s, back in the early 1980s. No, it was early 1990s, to Zimbabwe to try and help them do the transition because they were having problems. So they've had elections just been, and there's civil unrest. I don't know who won the elections and stuff like that. I want to have a just check where they are on the map, actually. The energy map. Let me check out Uganda. We can do a bit of energy work on there. I'm just bringing up my map so I can see it, because if I'm not mistaken, Uganda's in the it's sort of like Central East, isn't it? Central West, sorry, isn't it? If I'm not mistaken, Central West of Africa, as far as I can remember. I haven't checked, but because if it is, let me just see if I can. What I'll get is, I'm going to get my map up. Because I think it's going to be, it could be quite good actually, because it would give us a focal point to work upon. Let me just bring that up there. So this is my map here, if you can well see here. I haven't got my above camera working because I'm redoing all my studio. But you see that point 16? I don't think it's too far off of that, is it? If I'm not mistaken. I might be completely wrong. I might be completely... Oh, it's in East Africa. Okay, so it's in East Africa. Let me just... in that case, I need to readjust that because it's going to be over... Really? Is it over by sort of like Kenya? Is it south of Kenya or something like that? I've got to find out where it is now. Let me just have a look. We will get back to the agenda in a moment. Let's just see where it is in the world. Oh yeah, it's just next to Kenya. Oh, there you go. Blimey, what a palaver, eh? Yeah, left of Kenya. That's right. Okay. Someone's just trying to call me. I think it's my dad trying to call me. So, hello, Dad. Good evening. If you're watching my live, and obviously you're not, then you realise you shouldn't be calling me. But we're working on Uganda, Dad. You should have a look. Yeah, let me get back to that map for a second there before I. So basically, it's caught up in that section there. Let me just find out where it is. There it is. Is that it? There it is. I just want to bring that map across, because what you can do is you can use the vortices that are there. So, okay, so you see, oh no, you can't see it yet. I've got to readjust it, sorry. I do apologise. Okay, so you see points 16, 17, 18, and that's 20 there, yeah? Okay, so the energy is, it's creating a vortex that goes between, if you imagine it, the energy is flowing 20, 17, 16, is that 18? I think it is. 18, 20. So it's creating this clockwise vortex, which is earth energy, basically. It's creating a massive earth vortex. So it's drilling into the earth, as it were, with that sort of energy. So we could use that grounding force, yeah, so just to help out, and then we get back to Aquarius. So if you want to join in, just take 2 seconds. So just relax. If everybody just relaxes and just sort of feel the energies relax. Yeah, and I'm seeing sort of, okay, so I can see the mist and everything like that, and I've got Uganda in my brain, as it were, and it's my radio's, my intuition's tuned into it, and there's a lot of yellow golden light. They've got a great opportunity here in Uganda. I don't know who's won the election. I don't care. I'm not politically in that way, I'm not that sort of thing. I don't care about that. What is important, though, is that the Ugandans have an opportunity to stand up and sort of say, do you know what? We can do things differently. That's what I'm hoping. Now, there's a lot of red as well within that. So there's obviously a lot of passions going on there at the same time. What we're going to do is, if you just sort of like, if you picture that point of Uganda, so it's roughly where that, almost just south of that top red dot next to the point 20. So it's just down that way there. So if you just vision that, so as you vision like the energy just going round in a clockwise direction, and every time it goes past, it drops a bit of more grounding energy. So it just helps the situation over there find a solution, physical solution, one way or another. And I don't know what's gone on with the elections and so forth, and I'm so I can't really comment on that. And I won't comment on things that although I might as well have a look. Let's get back. Let me get back to. Oh blimey! Let me get back to. That's going to pull me into a right old palaver, isn't it? Let's get back to that. So as it's coming around, so I just wanted to pull up the other way because I want to now look into seeing what was going on. Yeah. Yeah, truth does need to come out, really, doesn't it? Unfortunately. Obviously, as I said, I don't know what's gone on in the elections, who's complaining about what and stuff like that, but it seems like it wasn't really totally on the square. Let's put it that way. So lessons learned. Let Uganda man learn those lessons. Just this. You don't even have to learn it. You know it. You know it already. You don't need to sort of go down that road. So every time I'm going round that loop, every time I go past that Ugandan point, I literally just drop off a little bit more, and you can do the same thing. Just helping them find that common sense, so then they can sort it out. It's just people been killed and killed. Oh, blimey, yeah, well, you know what I mean. With that, Africa's an amazing place. Chakra Visions, how are you doing? Lovely to see you. Blessed done. Hi, can I ask? Am I going in the correct direction? Yeah, well, we'll have a look at that for you in a minute if you want. Blessed Don. Blessed Done. Am I getting it right? I'm not. So, hello, Chakra Visions. Yes. Shawnee Grows, how you doing? Lovely to have you here. Bobby Wine won, but the other president won't let him have it. That's probably the truth that needs to come out. You're laughing because my dad rang. Yeah. I'm surprised my dad only rang once. Normally, my dad will sort of like ring and then kind of go, oh, he didn't pick up the first time. I better ring him another 4 times just to make sure. Maria, how you doing? Yeah, so, that's... You really want to go, didn't you, Joe? I want to answer your question. You really want to go, though, don't you? I think you're almost like, even if people told you not to go, you kind of go, do you know what? I think I'll be all right. That's your attitude. Whether you will or not is another matter, obviously. Let me just... I'll pull in a few cards for you now, but I know you do. Look at what I get for you, Bagpuss. Look what I get for you, Joe. Okay, first one, the Empress. Take your emotions out of the situation and, lead with steady emotions. Whatever you're doing and whenever you go out there, don't go out there because it's like, oh, I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go, because that's an extreme emotion. It's kind of going, it's basically, you should never ask why or why not and stuff like that in life. You should I only ask whether I should or shouldn't. I start off with that. Should I do this or shouldn't I do that? If I start worrying about, you know, what would the world say, then I'd never get there. So yeah, I'd do that. The other one that comes out is the three of Pentacles. So a lot of respect. I think if you approach it in a very no nonsense effect way, this whole sort of thing, and be honest, with yourself and stuff like that. If it's sort of saying to you no, don't go, then obviously don't go. That's what I'm sort of saying. If it's saying to you go, then go. And that's what the thing that comes out at the end. I hear what you're saying about being safe. Unfortunately, there is no guarantees in life, and you know that, Joe. And I would want you to be safe. That's what I would want. And maybe that's what, can help you sort of manifest and so forth. But yeah, I would check in and be honest with yourself more than anything else. Be absolutely honest with yourself. So Aquarius, I was going to show you Aquarius as well as regards to the Astroflower, because I think it could be, it's quite a good indicator, I think, if I remember rightly. If I remember rightly, I'm just trying to find Aquarius now. Is that it? There it is. So yeah, let me just bring up Aquarius here. Oh blimey, look at it, it's done all of that malarkey. What are you playing at? Hang on a second. That's not Aquarius. There's Aquarius there. No, we haven't got it yet. There you go. There's Aquarius there. Okay, so look at this is Aquarius, right? On the from the Astroflower. Okay, so what you'll see is at the top you've got those light blue squares, which is the air energy, the air element of Aquarius. But Aquarius is also, it's the water bearer, because it's John the Baptist. It's baptizing people. That's what Aquarius does. It's baptizing you into a new way of being, a complete new paradigm, and that's what the Age of Aquarius is all about. And the base there, you can see the squares of blue. Now that which is the water element of Aquarius. And if you look at the bottom left, or the far side, the very bottom thing, you get water and air energy within Aquarius. And that water is from Aquarius, and the air actually comes from Scorpio, because Scorpio has water at the top and air at its base, and has huge amounts of air in the sign of Scorpio. But on the left, on the far side, where you get the round circles, that's mutable energies. And you get the mutable water that comes in from Pisces, and you get the mutable elements that come in from Sagittarius, where it is split between the fire and air. So you get that repeating water and air energy. It's Aquarius completely, it's going to be, that's that physical of the visions, but the application of the emotional side of life, emotional engagement in regards to what we're doing in the physical world. So in the material world, and it's bringing together body and mind. So it personifies the idea of Saturn and Neptune. that whole sort of side of things. Okay, and it to a certain extent, yeah. And because it's mutable, it means that it can play in different ways, much more adaptable than, say, like fixed signs or cardinal signs, for example. And but it does have that fire of transition of that round red circle that comes from Sagittarius about being passionate about getting things done. So they're very, Aquarians are very passionate about, doing something, really, really physically doing something, and they get completing something and stuff like that, and being very rhythmical about it as well, and the way in which they do things. So it's all sort of mutable. But then on the right-hand side, you get water at the base here, water and fire on both sides. And that's that emotional and passionate side that can be incredibly conflictual. Water doesn't really go with fire, and fire doesn't really go with water. But then again, when you get the mix right, you get a tropical beach, you get lovely warm waters, you get warm emotional feelings, you get passionately warm emotional feelings about things. So everything, it's like air and water. You get ice as well. That's the downside of it all. Too much, with air and water, that's where you can get ice. So there's pluses and minuses to everything about it. But the thing is that you have that sort of like cardinal earth that caps off the financial sort of side, which gives a physical direction. And as I said, they think, with Aquarius, they like to get things done and get things organized and get moving on and completing things. And I think that's where the energy from Capricorn, which is that triangle earth at the top, that's lending that Capricorn steady as you go feel about Capricorn, because Capricorns have that a lot. But on the emotional sort of side, there's that cardinal energy that comes in from Aries as well. And, Aries is, they're really, they got normally like, they do jobs like sort of like designer or calculating things. They like the bottom line, and they like to see what the result is of things. And it's looking at the result of what happens physically within the world and gives them an emotional direction to follow on. If we're looking at Aquarius here with the fire that comes through from Aries, it gives them that emotional sort of passionate direction to follow to convert ideas into reality. And it's all to do with, I think, that particularly that crossing over the water and the earth at the very top of there, which is basically your here and now. And it's very fertile ground. There's a lot of possibilities with Aquarius. It's basically how much you want to put into it more than anything else. I haven't seen any of the comments while I've been looking at this. I do apologize. But yeah, so I think it defines the age of Aquarius of sorting out a new way of running the material side of life, and finding solutions and stuff like that. That's the flexible sort of stuff of the mutable energies, but being a lot more sort of very much more sort of direct about how we engage in the world spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and all of those sort of things. And that can, that will change enormous amounts of things in the world. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's what the Aquarius is all about, I'm just catching up with the comments here. Okay. That's all right, Bagpuss. Absolutely lovely. I'm very well. Thank you very much, Adelia. I nearly started speaking French then. Thank you for taking the time. It's all right. No, absolute pleasure. We're all in the same boat. You're all in this together. We're all going to come out of this all together as well. Hope everyone's fine, I think. Shawnee Grows. I do enjoy my clipboard lists. Your clipboard lists. Are you an Aquarian? Are you, Shawnee Grace? I can imagine. Yeah. You know, Aquarians are very religious as well. They take life. They value life, and they take it very. I wouldn't say seriously. Yeah, they do take it seriously. I think they take the serious implication of living life. That's what it feels like with that, and I think that's what's coming out of this whole Aquarius thing. So, as we get these sort of like this conjuncture on February the 20th between Saturn and are you born on January the 20th? So you're Capricorn though, aren't you? I thought Capricorn went right up to 21st. Happy birthday, by the way, to everybody who's having their birthday today. All the Aquarians having their birthdays today. So you had your birthday the other day. Okay. Does that? I thought it would make you a Capricorn. Maybe I'm wrong, but you're right on the cusp. I was born 2 months earlier, though. Oh, okay. Okay, so you should have been Aries. Oh, well, no, Pisces going on to Aries. My brother and my mum were both born on the 21st of March. Yeah, and lovely people. But they've also got, Aries as well. It's got this. The other side of Aries is that they either tend to do this sort of like calculating thing, bottom line and everything like that. But they also like being, say, like teachers and looking at and particularly involved with young people, in a really good way. It's a fine line where it changes. Yeah, exactly. So Aquarius is life. Life is a sacred journey. Oh yeah, well, I get that. I understand that. You can. Yeah, it is. And yeah. Ivy, how you doing? Lovely to see you. I think the solar eclipse is on the 17th of February. That was the other thing. Well done, Frisia. Yes, Tanya was talking about it earlier on, about that. And yes, and I will be doing some specials on that, which I always do usually, because you get the lunar eclipse and you get the full eclipse, or the solar eclipse, not necessarily a full eclipse. It's 4 degrees in Aquarius, right? Okay, yeah. And then and then on the other side, it should be, you're probably going to be getting, the other eclipses are going to be what, in Leo or Virgo? Is that right? Because then you get it after that. The 1st of March is a fantastic day. Of course it is, Julie. We all know that. It is. Are you the 21st? I think you are, aren't you? Gee whiz, I know so many people on the 21st of March. What's going on? It's all about, autumn in the southern hemisphere, but spring in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, it's manifestation. How have you been sort of like? How have you been sort of like getting on with, manifesting things on a very sort of, on a daily basis? Don't try and, as I say, talk about the possible, not the impossible. Blessed done. Are you still there? I just wanted to know if you were still there. I wanted to know if you're still there, because you were asking earlier on about whether you were going in the right direction. So I thought I'd answer that, because I said I was going to answer it. The lunar eclipse is on the 2nd of March. Okay. This is it. It straddles that whole 20th of March. 20th of 20th of February. That conjunction. And then you have this massive alignment of planets on the 8th, 9th and 10th of March, which is phenomenal as well. I I could actually show you. Let me just see if I can pick it up quite quickly and show you. If I can get the, I'll quickly just try and get the, I'm just having a quick look. Yeah, you get a lot of different alignments, and you know, you get Venus, Earth, and Saturn, and then you get alignments between. That's on the 8th, as far as I can tell, just by looking at the thingy, and then later on in that, you start getting Jupiter, Venus, and Mars. Well, there was before that was, yeah, you're getting Mercury, Earth, and Mars around about the 10th as well. And the other one is, yeah, and that's Saturn as well. Uranus, I don't think so. And there was another alignment with Pluto. There is with Venus, Mars, and Pluto. No, it's Jupiter, sorry. It's Jupiter, Venus, and Pluto. There's just this huge, phenomenal amounts of different alignments that's going on. On that beginning part of March, just after we've come out all of the eclipses as well. And planetary alignments can be really powerful, but it can also be not so powerful. It depends. It's I often like to so there's two types of alignments. Okay, there's alignments which involve the sun, and there's alignments that don't involve the sun. And also, it depends on where the positioning is as well. If the planets are behind our rotation or in front of our rotation, and so forth. And a lot of these within the Earth connection seems to be that Earth on it. I want to make sure that's true. Go back to that. Yeah, a lot of the alignments for Earth they're not being affected by a great deal of the planets magnetically, as it were, but it does play harmonics throughout the whole sort of solar system. And it can provide a sort of form of messaging, but I think the messaging is stronger when it's sitting where you're sitting in the flow of the other planet. I think it makes it even harder. So planetary alignments are fantastic, but you've got to look at every single sort of makeup of it all in order for it to in order to see how much of an effect it will have upon us as in the system. It's that fine line where it changes. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just sort of seeing if there's been any other sort of comments and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, Neptune moves back for about 30 years from tomorrow, awakening on all fronts. There you go. Is Neptune associated with Aquarius? It must be. I am not an astrologer. I will tell you that straight away. I think it probably is, isn't it? Well, it's associated with Pisces. Has it not got any Aquarius in it? I'm quite surprised that that's not got any Aquarius in it as well. because there's so much water within Aquarius. But yeah, let me go back to... Yeah, so you got to look at where the eclipse is. And I will be doing a special on that as well. And according to the chakras of the earth as well, which it plays in, it seems to, when the eclipses go across certain zones for the certain chakras, it really does give us the tempo for the next sort of 6 months. You know, it's almost as much as the equinoxes and the equinoxes and the solstices. I'll get there in a minute. You know, it has a sort of like that sort of like 3 monthly sort of period, and then we have another sort of 6 monthly sort of period, and that brings me back to the whole rhythm of 2026. And you know what's happening between March and May and September and November seems to be the one that's sort of the other side of it, of what's happening this year, where we can have enormous steps forward in manifesting things. Because I think the following year after that, I think that energy is going to become even more. And what we might notice in the future, that you know what we perceive to be in the minority of how we engage in life through an energetic sense of using energy as a sort of as a sort of like chef d'orchestra, like the tempo of of things. I think people who are more inclined in that way is going to find living life a lot easier, sort of going forward. Okay. So, Blessed Done. Blessed Done. I didn't hear back from you, so I presume you're not there. Did anybody have any sort of like questions and everything like that about your weekly readings and so forth? It's been very interesting. And it's because it's going from week to week. It seems to be, I don't know what, for me personally, it seems to be that it's talking to our inner selves at the moment. Rather than, I'm not getting readings that are kind of like, that you can almost like, you're starting a 30-year cycle. Like, it seems to be like the energy that comes through the readings each week are very sort of like, it's the here and now, which is becoming more and more important than anything else. You know where you're supposed to be going on your roads. Ideally, you know where you want to be in the future, the most ideal position you want to be taking in the future. And if you know that, you can concentrate on the weekly thing, as it were, where it is manifesting those steps that do make up the staircase that take you ultimately to your ultimate goals. And that's what it seems to be like at the moment, with the readings as well. And it seems to be asking very, questions of oneself as well, more than anything else, So, yeah. And did you must have felt the energy that came through last week, obviously, after the live. Scorpio readings have been great. You've really enjoyed it. I've been really enjoying reading it. I found them very interesting. It really, I found them really quite deep, deep in the knowledge and the understanding, and it's a real finesse to it as well at the moment. It's really nice to read. It's really nice to sort of like, it's like you're getting down and saying, oh, what's in it? Sort of thing. It's really, I'm really getting in it, inner knowing, totally inner knowing. And you've had a trying week, have you? Dealing, this is from Chrissy, trying with a, well, I'm not surprised you've had a trying week if you've been dealing with a gaslighting narcissist. Blimey. What? That, wow. You know, um, yeah, no, you don't want to be, you know, this is where you've got a choice, kind of sort of, you can turn around, well, depends obviously on the situation, but, you know, if you can, I would just turn around and just kind of sort of say, no, sorry, I'm really busy at the moment. I haven't got time for it. I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging. I'm proud that I managed to enforce my boundaries. Okay, so yeah, fantastic. I didn't read the rest of the comment. Rah. Enforce my boundaries and not saying yes to keep people happy. Fantastic. That's exactly what you should. That is exactly it. And Scorpios, sometimes can be. It's difficult for you to do that sometimes. You know, um, and because of your sign. And for other signs, it's a lot easier. And I think it's a lot easier actually, funnily enough, for earth signs to say no. I got a funny feeling. um yeah, I got a funny feeling it's much easier. Maybe they do that because they can't be can't be bothered to move. Maybe that's what it is. Not sure if this makes sense to anyone else. So this comes from Lynn. But I had a most amazing vivid dream. Oh, vivid dreams. Oh yeah, the dreams, man. They've been off the charts, haven't they? The last few weeks. Hang on, let me just bring this up. Love the way you deliver your readings. You enjoy it, Sully. I'm trying. I try and stay away from just the treadmill sort of stuff. I really try and get my finger into the crux of the situation. But vivid dreams have been absolutely mad, yeah. Energy picking up a bit now, but I could not get enough sleep. That is the other thing. I think it's because we also, a lot of people have been talking about lack of, not lack of sleep, or not lack of sleep, talking about, I was, I could sleep for Britain. I could do it as an Olympic sport at the moment. And normally, that's not me at all. I'm normally a sort of like, 6 hour a night person, really. Can be less, but, at the moment, yeah, I could probably do 24 hours. I can probably do 24 hours. There's no doubt about it. But the vivid dreams have been absolutely amazing. But yeah, but the readings have been. They just seem to have a sort of precision about it. So Scorpio here to assist from Chakra Vision. Hang on a second. Scorpio, yes, awesome reading. Okay, right, yeah, thanks. It has been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I've been really enjoying it. I'm just catching up with the other ones. It's Julie. Been loving the Aries readings. Aries have been. Do you know what? I've just got this whole sort of Aries is kind of going. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing that phases you at the moment. It's really beautiful to see in Aries. It's just, and that when Aries is like that, they just infect everybody with this beautiful confidence about doing stuff. It's really nice. I'm really enjoying every reading at the moment. I felt so. This comes from Ivy. I felt an urgency to sell my house, but 4 months now, and nothing seems to be happening. I often find with selling houses, and I've had quite a few houses, and with people that I help to sort of sell houses, it often helps to know where you're going. So to not necessarily put down an offer on another house, but to sort of go and visit and say, yeah, if I sold one today, I would definitely put an offer in for that. And once you've got that in your mind's eye, that really then does help to sort of focalize, because our guides and stuff like that, we talk about guides and stuff like that, but you've got to know, you've got to give them a clear picture of what you want. And our monkey mind and stuff like that can really help us if our monkey mind is a little bit calm, so it's not badgering us all day long. then your monkey mind can kind of go, oh, Ivy, she's thinking of selling the house. She wants to sell the house. She wants that house. And therefore, it will help to create coincidences, which is part of the manifestation thing. So then all of a sudden, someone just, it could be a couple of neighbours down that selling their house, and the agent sort of said, "Oh, do you know, it just happened to be walking past whilst you're walking out of your house," and sort of says, "Oh yeah, I've actually got people in the area," and stuff like that. It's a estate agent as well, but and it might just trigger that sort of thing. But I think it's knowing where you're going is really important before because I think that's really important. I think that really helps you to say it. It depends on the reason why you're sort of selling the house. I'm such a deep person. This is from Bagpuss. So I'm such a deep person, but that's a Scorpio. Scorpios, yeah. I've spent a lot of my life with Scorpios, and they are incredibly deep. They, in a sense that in a sense, yeah, I know, I can hear you all. In a sense that it takes a long time to get to really know the Scorpio, or for them to open up to you. I think it takes an incredibly long time. Someone once said to me, an astrologer once said to me, Scorpios, sometimes you have to corner them, and they don't like being cornered. So, and I think it's got to be a slowly approach sometimes, a lot of the time with Scorpios. So they've got the confidence to open up, that sort of thing. That's what I sort of get from it, that sort of thing. So, they are very deep. They are very deep. I've completely lost all the, I lost my thread in a very deep person. So yes, Scorpio reading was great. This is from Coral. I actually met someone, but what a fumbling mess. Not the person you met. I didn't click. He was trying to ask me out. Oops. I was unwell and not sure if he will be back. This is what I mean. This is like, yeah. I can understand that. Poor guy, in a way. Well, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a fumbling mess of a guy, which has a lot of beautiful sides to it all. Still waking at 2 to 3 in the morning, and so I've taken myself off to the pool at 5:30. I crash for a nano nap at noon. Okay, and you crash for a nano nap at noon. Well, if you are doing and how long's your nap and stuff like that, because it can actually it can reduce what you sleep at night as well. 2 and 3 is usually, well, it's not really, it's in between the two. I'd say normally it's between 12 and 1. So usually 2 and 3 should be pretty deep sleep for you. That period there should be pretty deep. So it's probably that you want to get on and do things and don't want to wait around by the looks of it or by the sounds of it. Not just vivid dreams, but also recurring ones. So you've been getting recurring ones, have you, Sully? I had one recurring dream when I was a young boy. I wasn't saying man, a young boy. And it was the same dream. I go down this park, and then it was autumn time, and I ended up in the in like a massive shed that's painted dark green, because in this park in London. And I know the park is a park not too where I grew up. And I used to have to cross a brook in order to go out. And I went into these sort of like barn thing, and there was this thing on a table that was covered in a cloth. And there was lots of leaves on the ground, autumn leaves, dried leaves on the ground. And And just as I start to go to grab the cloth to see what's underneath the cloth, the wind picks up and the leaves would go like that, and then I'd wake up. And it happened about sort of 5-6 times over a period of years, and then it sort of like stopped. And then when I was about 18, 17, I finally got the bit of sheeting, the cloth off of what was on the table, and it turned out to be this massive missile. And but it wasn't armed or anything like that. It wasn't going to be sent off. It was almost as if I was discovering. It was I think it ties into the explosion of my coming fully consciousness about what I was doing in my life. So when I was sort of 16, 17, that's when I first started doing my hands-on healing and that sort of thing. And that just exploded my life, completely changed everything. So, from there on in, it's been mad, beautifully mad. So, yeah, vivid dreams, recurring ones, yeah. We'll have to have a look into that at some point. I mean, exactly the same time. I have never needed much sleep and didn't even realize love sleep as I have lately. Nana naps have been bliss. Yeah, I tell you what, I'd like to. I haven't gone that far yet. The dreams are blowing my mind though. Yeah, they certainly are. White feather, Scorpio, yes. I've had a hard time sleeping, but I think that's also a lot to do with lots of stress. It will be. Yeah. Stress. It's the, is Suli off? Is she? I didn't see. Yeah, are you off? Are you off, Suli? Ciao, Suli. Oh yeah, there you go. Thanks, Tom. I have to go. Wishing you all a run. Speak to you on. Enjoy. So yeah, it can be to do with a lot of stress. My ex was a Scorpio. You're Capricorn as well, aren't you? So yeah, it takes a long time for Scorpios to know themselves too. I think it takes an enormous amount. I think, they're very concerned about human rights and that sort of thing, Scorpios. They tend to be very sort of, they've got this sort of sense of justice that they're looking at the world and looking for moral justice within the world or righteous justice in the world. So they tend to, look at trying to help and find solutions for that sort of thing. And because they're looking there, they don't, sometimes they don't get enough time to look at themselves. So yeah, I think it does take a long time for them to learn themselves, and they're incredibly complex as well in a nice way. Yeah, it can be in a negative way, but I think it's a really nice way. Okay, so I missed another comment there. Yeah, so Julie, yeah, just go for it, Julie. What was it? I've been loving the Aries reading since I was sitting on. Yeah, just do it, Julie. Just start. You know what I mean. Just start. So, Luis, how you doing? Hello from Mexico. Hello. My aunt called Tia Eva. My daughter's called Eva. Who just turned 101. Wow. Has not been herself this week. Oh, right, okay. Oh, bless her. She told us that she saw my mother the other day. I was wondering if you could give us any insights into... did we not see her last time? Or another time? Did we not see her another time? But... What star sign is she, Lewis? It's Maria, isn't it? If I remember rightly. Might have it wrong. Charlie, thank you. Libra as well. Libra, wow. Yeah, no, Libra amazing. Libras are really amazing. This transformation that's going on in Libra at the moment is just like, it's almost as if like they got it. And when Libra gets it, there's no going back, and it is phenomenal. Usually, I've got two Librans as children, and then I've got Librans as friends, and amazing people. Really are amazing people. Yeah, no, it's beautiful to see. It's almost as if like Libra has taken this pressure off their shoulders, as if to sort of say it doesn't really. The important thing is doing what I'm doing rather than having to, worry about what the outside world sort of thinks and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier for Librans to really sort of stride forward and go forward into things. Yeah, but Librans have been really, really good. Only nap for half an hour in the day. Oh, that's not so bad then. And I'm in bed by 10, so that's 6 hours a night. Okay, well that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Well then, that may well be. You're in summertime as well, so that might actually probably work better for you. It's probably better to get things done really early in the morning before it gets really hot, because it has been quite hot over there, isn't it? I'd love to sleep more, but my body just won't do it. Yeah, I know. Well, Capricorns. It's that bear attitude from a Capricorn, isn't it? Yeah, Lewis. Louis, what's your mother's, your grandmother's birth sign? If she is Aquarius, she's probably having it. Probably be one of the most. The last 2 months before the birthday is usually the most difficult. In energetically speaking, it's when we have a 9-month rhythm, and then we have this sort of 3-month pause in the rhythm before our birthday kicks in. So usually when we get to a certain age, that's usually when the door turns up, as it were. If we wish to take a door. So yeah. I think I'm not sure whether I did. I lost connection there for a couple of seconds. Yes, it's Lewis. Maria is my spouse. Oh right, okay, right, yeah, okay. So Eva is a Capricorn, is she? Tia Eva is a Capricorn. Is she an early Capricorn or a late Capricorn? Sorry, I couldn't see the messages, the comments. Sorry about that. I do apologise. Okay, so yes, is she the beginning of Capricorn or the end of Capricorn? When's her birthday? Dear Eva. Let me just have a look at her. I'm wondering if it's not tied into electrolytes as well. January the 10th. Okay, so it's that. It could be that. Because obviously, sort of, so for the last week, so you're going back to the 16th, just after her birthday. What happens is when our birthday turns up, our energy cycle is renewed and it's re-engaged, but it does take a week for it to kick in. So if your birthday's on the 10th, round about the sort of 17th, that's when it's kicking in. And maybe that kicking in process it may be getting a little bit harder each year to kick it over, you know. Yeah, I want to know, is she have problems with electrolytes? Because I got a funny feeling on when we had the solar flares, the X flare that came in, and that was last Monday, at the beginning of the week just gone. So Sunday and Monday, so maybe from the Sunday through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of the week that just went, which would have been the, what was it? What are we now? The 26th. So you're looking at the sort of 19th, 20, 21, something around that sort of period there. If it might be a little bit difficult. I'm finding periods of time when I don't feel spiritually connected and may be too grounded. At these times, I feel a bit empty and lost. It does cycle up again after a while. That's like the non-directional energy, and you could have felt that where I think you've got to trust in that pathway, and that's when I talk about, it's like when it does sort of drop out, when the energies drop out and we do lose that sort of a certain connection in a way, that's when we've already, we know where we should be going, we know what we got to do, and you just go into auto drive, or cruise control consciousness. That's what I call it. I did an messages from energy about cruise control consciousness, and it's just allowing it to free flow. So you're not pushing yourself, you're not getting ahead of the game, because you can then get yourself out of rhythm like that. You're not either sort of like not doing anything at all, because that can get you out of the rhythm as well. It's just being very steady more than anything else, I think. I understand this, thank you. She was not eating, and they were able to give her intravenous food. So she's eating a little now. Yeah, I get the feeling that she's had a problem with electrolytes, so it might, the thing is, when the electrolytes go, you also lose, and there's other aspects, there's other reasons behind it as well, but, you lose a little bit of your appetite. And, you say she's 101 now. So this is really good. She's been through the 4 cycles, which take us up to 96. Usually I don't look any further than that, but what's her quality of life like? Can she move around and everything like that? Is she very conscious and everything like that? She engaged with life? I feel like she is, but but looking at what was happening in the last week, where she was looking she was a bit flooded up, So I'm going to look at another thing there. People choose their own. It's a bit like cats. We're a bit like cats, and I try and keep it as light as possible, Lewis. I mean, if it's causing you any, I don't want to cause you any stress or strain about anything. So we're a bit like cats, though. Cats tend to go wandering off when it's the end of their days. They tend to go wandering off, and you don't see them again. And in the North American Indians, or North American native people, I don't know, Native Americans, I don't know, whatever we call them these days, changes every week, so I get lost. But they used to have that sort of attitude as well. which I think is a brilliant attitude to have. I'm very much within the same sort of vein, and so she's got a door, and I take it your mother, who she's been seeing, hallucinating, seeing. She told us that she saw my mother the other day. Is your mother still with us, Lewis? That's the other question I wanted to know. Is your mother still with us? If she isn't, then no, White Feather. Well, I'll speak to you. I won't speak to you, but have a lovely day, White Feather. So yeah, Lewis. Yeah, is your mother passed on? That's hang on a second. There was a message that just came through. Okay, so before I lose it, no, thank you. This means so much to myself and my family. She says she's tired. I can imagine she is. Bless her. She's an amazing person. No, my mother passed away 5 years ago. I'll be honest with you, Lewis. I think Eva's got... We have more than one door. Especially when we get to a certain age. And this is what I mean about cats, and that people choose the door. And she's got that... she's had that opportunity. I can't find anything. She's gone past that opportunity. That door there. Does she want to... Does she want to move on? Do you think? Does she want to stay? Is she active? Does she walk in? Does she walk around and stuff like that? Because she's got other opportunities after that, obviously. But it depends. She's free. She can. What I mean. She's. If she wants to leave now, then she. That's a possibility for her if she wishes to. Yeah. Did your mum have a? Did your mum have a? Yeah. Thank you, White Feather. Yeah. Thank you, Chrissy, as well. Yes. Did she have a? Was it a throat or lung issue? Was it, Lewis, for your mum? I just want to make sure I'm getting the right person here. I think she's gonna. I think she's gonna have to wait for the next door, Lewis. I think she's gonna have to wait for the next door. If she's really active and still walking, and, mobile and milling about and doing stuff, then she probably, but yeah, exactly. Much. She's the captain of her own sort of destination, as it were. If she wished to go at the moment, that opportunity is sort of still there, but if she doesn't, there is others over the next year and a half. She is bedridden. Okay, so we are so thankful for her long life. Yes, my mum had cancer of the throat. Okay, yeah, that was it then. There you go. Okay, so what's your mum called? What was your mum called again? I've met her already, I think. I don't know why. Feels like I've already met her. Can you take her through then? Okay. So, Christina Lamport, how you doing? Welcome. Let me just have a look at Tia. I nearly called her Tia Maria. Isn't that a drink? Tia Eva. Okay, let me have a look. Let me just sort of see. Hello, my love. How you doing? I bet you could tell me a few things. One from one Capricorn to another. You know, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. I know. Let me just. Can I help you out with something? Is that all right, my love? Okay. You see that? Yeah. Basically, if I give you that and that, what you do is, when you feel ready, just join them together like that. That's what needs to happen in order for it all to go swimmingly. Okay? Okay. You whenever you want, my love. Whenever you want. Angela. That's your mum. Did she look after everyone, Angela? She seems to be like the matron. I don't know if that's right or not, but she seems to be like this matron, making sure kind of go, right, who's next? Who needs this? And do you know what I mean? You know. So Christina Lamport, yeah. Well, hello. Is this your first time being here? I don't think I've ever seen you here before. Lovely to see you, of course. Absolutely beautiful. I am going to be wrapping up in a minute. Unfortunately. Vita, how you doing? Would it help for Lewis and family to tell that that it's okay to get? That's probably yeah. Do tell her it's okay. She can let go. It's fine. You know, it's no worries. But Maria, Angela seems to be the welcoming party at the door. That's what she's like. You know, she's very up for that. Yeah, she was the heart of the family. Ah, there you go. She came in as if sort of said, "You're new here, then you, Christina. Well, welcome. You know, you just jump in anytime you like. No worries." Yeah, she just seems like when she came in, it's almost like when she came in, she kind of goes, it's almost she had like a broom and pan in her hands, kind of go, right, what do I need to deal with next? Right, what do we, let's get a bit of order in, ship shape, what's going on, sort of thing. Have you had enough relax? Have you had enough rest there, Angela? You can make it upstairs, no worries. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, it could go quite quickly, if I'm honest with you, Lewis. But if it doesn't happen in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when I mean quite quickly, there will be other opportunities in not the too distant future, and it's Tia Eva will decide. You know, she's in full control. No worries. Whenever she wants, the world or the universe is waiting for her, and they're very patient. No stress, no strain. You know. So, yes. Thank you, Angela. Right. Oh, Chrissy, you're an absolute star. Thanking you very much. Thanking you very much, Chrissy. yeah, next week's Scorpio reading for, yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Good night, Julie. Good night, everyone. Good night, Christina. Thanking you for being here and making it here. I don't know where you are in the world. We start at 10 o'clock UK time, just so you can, usually on a Sunday, and we sort of like, we've got a vague topic that we go into, and then, is it good? I'm sorry, Christine. I'll be back in a second. Lewis, absolutely brilliant, man. I'm glad the Astroflower could be part of helping out, and yeah, thanking you as well. Yeah, Christina. So you just tend to, if you wanna ask anything, you wanna say anything, just jump in. You're more than welcome. Have you? I guess you must have subscribed. Surely you must have subscribed on your way through. You know what I mean? But yeah. So yes, I'm gonna say buenas noches, and I will see you all very soon on the next live or on a weekly or on the messages from Energy. Odilia, bonne nuit, à la prochaine fois, et que peut-être on va faire une en français un jour. Je vais essayer de voir. Je vais essayer d'arranger en tout cas. C'est va être intéressant parce que j'ai commencé à perdre tous mes français là. C'est terrible. On met la possibilité de parler en français. C'est dingue. So, yes, good night. Thanking you very much, Christina. Yes, Julie, Lewis, Chrissy, beautiful. Kevin, lovely. Excuse me, Vita, thanking you. I hope it's all going well for you, by the way, Vita. White Feather, I know you've gone, but thanking you as well. Coral, sorry, called you Carol there, I do apologise. Coral, Suli, I know you've gone. Maria, thanking you. Frisia, Lynn, I shall see you again at some point, everybody. Bagpuss, trust yourself. Chakra Visions, thanking you very much for being there. Ivy, it's, see where you're going, and I'm sure the rest will fall into place. It'd be absolutely brilliant. Shawnee Grows, lovely to see you. Ordelia, obviously, lovely to see you. I'm just going through KN, thanking you very much for being here. Really love. Blessed Donny, didn't really get back to you on that. Didn't hear it back. Blessed, shame. Maybe next time. Yeah, thanking everybody for being here, really, because it's always a bliss to see everybody. Really love it. And I will see you all very, very soon, I guess. Oh, is it still playing on the... I've still got Aquarius set up. I thought I went back to the face thing. Let me go back to that and say goodbye to everyone. See you later. I will see you soon. Don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.